everybody, this is Barbara Graver, the Mystic Review. I just wanted to do a real quick video, just a little announcement actually. Um, I just wanted to let everyone know that I'm going to be doing more metaphysical content, including more videos. I'm not going to make a promise because every time I promise, I always don't come through and then I feel guilty. But I'm writing more on the Mystic Review, mysticreview.com, and those posts are more metaphysical in nature. For a while, they were primarily about dreams, and now I'm kind of going back to the old format where I cover different topics, a range of different topics. I'm becoming very interested again in ancient mysteries and in Sumer and in Egypt and even in Greece. So I'm going to be doing some research on those topics from a metaphysical versus a historical perspective. I'm going to be more interested in spiritual topics having to do with those cultures. And I'm going to be including that on the blog. And I also cross-post all that content to my newsletter. So the blog is mysticreview.com and the newsletter is barbaragraver.substack.com. And that all my Mystic Review posts go on there. I also have posts on neurodiversity and a little bit on fiction writing on there, so that's more of a mashup. But there are different options too. Like you can opt out of weekly posts and just get updates. There are different options for that. But the main thing I just wanted to say is that I'm focusing more on metaphysics again. And if that's something that interests you, there's going to be more content on that. One of the reasons I've been led back to this has had a lot to do with my dreams. My dreams have been pulling me back to this, and I'm starting to have, kind of more spiritual experiences that kind of validate and confirm this. And also in writing the memoir, which started out as a kind of a return to the church memoir, and then and doing that made me realize that wasn't really where I wanted to be, which was helpful. And then it kind of developed into being more about neurodiversity. But as I worked my way through, I realized what it was really about was about spirituality, spiritual experience, life purpose, spiritual guidance, as seen through kind of the lens of my life, because I'm not writing a how-to guide for anybody. I wouldn't presume to do that. But so doing that, whether anyone reads it or not, doing it kind of helped me understand and define what I was doing, what I wanted to do, and why. So I'm not sure when that's going to be out, but this year, it'll definitely be out this year, hopefully by the end of the summer. Vampire Stories coming out really soon. I know I keep saying that, but I had some expenses. My dog got sick. I was just about to buy a bunch of Isbins. I got my little LLC all set up, and then my dog got sick, and I'm going to buy the Isbins now in May and get the book out, the Vampire Story out then in May. But the main thing I wanted to share with you guys is I'm going to be doing more metaphysical posts. I'm taking a YouTube class in ancient Sumerian. You can see behind me, that whole shelf behind me is really kind of like ancient mysteries. It's supposed to be, my books are arranged via the Dewey Decimal System. So that shelf behind me is history, but for me that means mythology. I have Minoa, I have Greece, I have Sumer, I have Celtic studies, I have all of that. That whole bookshelf's full of it. And some of those books I've read and some I haven't. And I want to kind of recommit myself to study. And in particular, I think there's a lot of wisdom in the past, and I kind of lost sight of that over the last few years, and now I'm returning to it, which feels right. It just feels right. And, working with guidance feels right. It just all feels right again. And I think that when I first started the blog, Mystic Review, in 2010, the main reason I started it was to share what I was learning in my metaphysical studies. And in doing that, helped me process things and help me understand things. And it has benefit to me, like writing this memoir, whether anyone reads it or not, it had benefit to me because it helped me understand what was important to me. It helped me see my process, it helped me see the role of guidance in my life. and that's been huge for me. That's extremely important to me. And sharing it in the memoir was very helpful, but the Mystic Review was like kind of the thread that kept me going. It was like stepping stones through the dark that kept me going through my spiritual journey, and now I'm coming back to that. And so I'm looking forward to sharing. I always felt when I used to be very committed to metaphysical blogging that one thing I had was I had the time and the interest to explore resources and share them with people. And I want to do that again. And it has the added benefit of keeping me accountable, which I really don't need. If anyone doesn't know, I am autistic and ADHD. And, executive function is a problem for me. Staying accountable is a problem for me. And the metaphysical blogging is really hugely helpful in that regard. So if you're interested in that, I'll still be sharing about Jung. I'll be sharing about dreams. I'll be sharing about tarot. But I'm also going to be writing a little bit more on ancient cultures, ancient mysteries, spiritual guidance, things like that. So if you're interested, which has been an interest of mine since I was a little kid. And and that's why writing the memoir helped. It helped me see like kind of the through lines in my own life, which it can be easy to lose that stuff, lose track of it. So again, that's mysticreview.com, or you could get everything through my newsletter, barbaragraver.substack.com. And I'm also going to be trying to do more videos. So I'm not going to commit to what that means exactly, but I'm going to try to do it. So I hope that's of interest to people. And I hope to see you here again soon. If you haven't, please follow the channel. Please check out my blog, subscribe to my newsletter. All that stuff is hugely, hugely helpful to me. It's so encouraging when people do that. I can't say how much. So I will see you again soon. Until then, this is Barbara Graver of the Mystic Review, and thank you so much for watching.